So I hope this lesson finds you guys well. We're going to be discussing just for a second the topic of permutation. Now, as most of you know, if you've been kind of following me for a couple of years, I wrote a book on the whole subject of permutation, and I've actually just moved that book to Amazon. So if you don't have it and you would like to pick it up, I've put the link below. It's easy, one-click buy. Amazon fulfills it, and so no hassle there. But this is from that. The whole book's on permutation, and the idea of permutation comes from actually math, right? So when we permutate something, a set or an ordered set of numbers, say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? In a permutation, order and repetition matter. So we need to keep the same order, and we don't need to repeat any elements. Now, if we had a combination, then order and repetition wouldn't matter. So we could take that ordered set and we could go 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, etc. and so forth. We could put them in whatever number we wanted to. A permutation, we're going to be moving it over in a very specific manner, and the order needs to stay the same, and there can't be any repeating elements. So if we're going to be permutating this fill today, we're going to permutate it by eighth notes. So instead of starting the fill on the downbeat of 1, we would start on the upbeat of 1. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Black. Okay? So you're coming back in and crashing out on the upbeat of 1, 2, and then you need to come back into the groove. All right, so this teaches us how to start our fills on different parts of the beat, as well as how to come up with some different combinations of fills we already know. Now, the fill we're going to be working with today, that's actually from the book. This is an example from the book. I'm not promoting the book. This is just a topic that I've taught on before, and I wanted to bring back up with the book kind of being moved over to Amazon. Let's say we have this right here. It's going to be a flam on the snare, so we all know that the flam is a small note preceded by the primary note, right? So we have a flam, foot, foot, right on the floor tom, left on the high tom, foot, foot. Then we repeat that pattern. So the first part of this fill in 16th notes is going to go like this. The only thing we're going to add at the end of that is 2 16th notes on the snare. So the whole fill goes like this. 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. If we were to play it in a groove, it would sound like this. 3, 4. So not a super hard fill, just kind of a basic rock fill. Now, what would happen if we started that on the upbeat of 1 instead of the downbeat of 1? Changes it a little bit and changes how it lies, as well as adds a little different spice to it. And we really haven't done anything but moved it over 1/8 note. Now, the big key to that is coming back in with the groove and immediately hitting the snare after you hit that crash cymbal. So 1 and 2. So that way it sounds like the groove is uninterrupted, and you knew what you were doing, so you planned to do this. You can do this with any pattern. You can do this with grooves. You can do this with different fills, but it kind of opens up what you're able to do, the whole subject of permutation. And David Garibaldi actually touches on it in his book, Future Sounds. And I kind of took where he left off, and I did a whole 80-page book on just this idea of, hey, what if we permutate these different patterns? What does that do? What if we permutate da 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 do 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 do, and we slowly start to move that around and start it on different parts of the beat. You can permutate over by 16th notes. You don't just have to move by 8th notes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this. I'm going to play 2 measures, and then I'm going to play the fill as is. Then I'm going to play 2 more measures, and I'm going to play the fill starting on the upbeat of 1. Then I'm going to play the fill starting on 2. Then I'm going to play the fill starting on the upbeat of 2, etc., and so forth. So you can kind of get a feel for how this feels once it's happening. 1, 2, 3. I simply wanted to give you a lesson to open up your mind a little bit and let you think about your fills a little differently. Hopefully this has helped. If you like the idea, grab the book off of Amazon. If not, I'll be here teaching more soon. And be watching for Drum Magazine in July. That's when it's coming out. I think the 12th of July. I will be in there with an interview about running a YouTube channel. They say successful, but hey, whatever that is, it's to you guys. But I'll be in there with Madel Cohen and Cobus Pokeister, and I'm sure I just murdered both of those names, but they interviewed the three of us for that. And so that'll be in Drum Magazine in July's issue. So I'm kind of pumped about it. You guys have stuck around for quite a while, so I'll see you next time.